Welcome to No Crime, No Time. I'm Danny, also known as RD. Today, we're just going to really walk into what could have been in order to see what had to be for that scenario to work, which is very confusing, but then that fits this case perfectly. So, the biggest question that comes up to me is, first of all, in any murder case, you need to know who is the victim, their identity. You need to know for sure what happened to the victim before you can point any fingers. And I'm left very much wanting to know that when it comes to the Avery case. Now, you may hear snorting and growling and all that kind of weird stuff. It's my pug. Her name is Maya. She's been with me since I started this. And if I put her outside the door, she'll whine. So she's just waking up and doing silly stuff. So when you look at this case, the biggest question is, for me, how do I know that Teresa Halbach is really dead? What do I have in this case that says she's really dead? What do I have in this case that says that the victim is really Teresa Halbach? When you look at the situation, the mitochondrial DNA did not match. It just couldn't rule out Teresa Halbach. Shouldn't it have been a perfect match? It's mitochondrial DNA. It's very, very unique. It's very, very specific. But yet, it didn't match 100%, did it? So, that leaves me questioning. Why is Teresa Halbach's Social Security number active? If the individual is dead, it would be inactive. Why were there so many sightings of Teresa after the 31st when she goes missing? Why didn't Ryan Hilligus remember the last time he saw her? Did he see her again and again and again? Was she not dead? Was that what made him chuckle? It's questionable how it could be so long for a mother to recognize that her daughter's missing when she talks to her almost every day, she claims, and she only lives 4 miles from her daughter. Why was Karen Halbach being questioned if Teresa had any other dead relatives? Females? Very strange, isn't it? Maya, quit. So I have a lot of questions. But one thing came to mind. That's what I want to talk about with you. If, in this scenario, this theory that Teresa Halbach is indeed alive, then they would have never used her DNA in this case to start with, because they needed bones. They would have used the DNA from the true victim. So whose cherry Pepsi is that really sitting in the RAV? Whose blood is that really in the RAV, in the back? And whose pap smear or DNA card was truly used. Can you tell me that you know it's Teresa Halbach's? Well, yeah, because of mitochondrial DNA testing. Again, it just didn't rule Teresa out. But it wouldn't have ruled out Carmen either. There's a lot about this case that we have to really look at when it comes to the victim and who they really are. 7 loci out of 13 at the time is only enough to tell us this is a female human. And when the mitochondrial DNA doesn't match, it tells us a little something isn't right. Carmen Boutwell could have possibly been the replacement DNA and biological material for evidence in this case if Teresa Halbach remained alive. It would explain why, as they needed more, the state needed more evidence of blood, it couldn't be produced even though they were staging the event, because the victim would have possibly have been someone else. And they're dead and given back to their family and buried or cremated. Interesting enough, Kathleen Zellner did ask Scott Tadich, of all people, to ask the Boutwell family if they would be willing to submit Carmen Boutwell's remains for DNA testing versus the bones found in the quarry, the pelvic bones found in the quarry, the only bones that show that it's a human female. Well, we know that Norm Gahn signed those bones away quite quickly. Gave them back to the Halbachs, supposedly. It would also explain why there would be no teeth in this case, because the teeth would show the identity of the real victim and not be Teresa. So let's walk the scenario that Teresa Halbach is still alive and that possibly Carmen Boutwell was used as replacement victim. Someone once, when I told them that I looked up on CCAP Carmen Boutwell and that her license plate was Vile Van, she pointed out that was Viavan, which means Adderall. Interesting, huh? I don't believe in quinkydinks or coincidences. I think things are put there for a purpose. Why did Remiker state that solving Ricky Hochstetler's case, as well as Carmen Boutwell's case, both of them, he stated to the public during each case in interviews that it would be like finding a needle in a haystack to solve the homicide. The more I look into this case and I look at victimology, the more I find Teresa Halbach doesn't come into existence until 2003. There's some backpedaling there to 2002. What else happened in 2003? Let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. In 2002, Stephen Avery is released from prison. No, he's found not guilty. He's exonerated. but he's not released for 1 year until 2003. See the timing here? In 2002, they realize Stephen Avery is indeed exonerated. Sherry Culhan, the original lab tech that worked on Stephen Avery's case in 1985, that sent him up the river for 18 years, wrongfully convicted of a sexual assault and attempted murder on Penny Bernstein. It all comes to a close. And Sherry Culhan delays things for 1 year. And in 2003, Stephen is released and is like a snowball rolling down the hill. That lawsuit is building. And get what else is building? You damn right. A game plan. It's just too quinky-dinky, right? Again, I don't believe in coincidences. So why can't I find Teresa before 2002? I'm sure after this video comes out, all kinds of little documents will come out, such as first time I brought up about Teresa's father, real father. Where was he? What was his name? She had to have a father. That week. Legacy. The place where the eulogies are and all the stuff about deaths. When you look up Legacy and all these other places of obituaries, produced urban stuff. Yeah. There was this whole thing about, his death. But in the left-hand corner, it said created, and it had the date before in 2016 on there. Yeah, it did. So, we FOIA documents and we think we're getting the legitimate documents. Are you kidding yourself? This is all a stage. The world is a stage, right? Ask Ken Kratz. It's all about perception. He has even suggested that. Why do people assume that Teresa Halbach was killed on the 31st? He said that she could be well alive until the 11th or 12th. It was crazy sounding, but he said that on social media. And then remember, there's that sighting on Cuss Road where this woman comes knocking on this guy's door and he swears it looks just like Teresa. She's wanting to know some questions. It's just like, what? Yeah. So, if Teresa is indeed alive and Carmen Boutwell is indeed the victim, until that's acknowledged, this case cannot be solved. Would be the perfect crime, right? To frame someone for a murder of someone that never existed. Just an identity theft. Just like they do for the CIA, create a name, an identity, and a little world around it. And then replace that missing DNA, that missing victim, with just some other person's DNA through the whole case. And that person that played the part, they could leave that name behind because it wasn't their name originally. It was given to them for that part. They played a little role and then they go back to their name or another alias. I will tell you, whoever played this part has many aliases. I can guarantee you that. And they know how to change their style. They know how to look a different way every day. They know how to make their hair different ways. They don't even look like themselves one day to the next because they're so good at it. You say I'm crazy? Maybe. But I tell you, if Teresa Halbach is alive, then she was never Teresa Halbach. Only for an actor's job. That's my thoughts. Take them or leave them. Love you guys. Bye.